Hi guys, Misty here from Luna Moon Stand Up Paddleboarding, and I'm here to show a tutorial on modified side plank, working that variation into a full expression and how to get there. So I'm on the lake with my Evolve Paddleboards Yoga Roots board, nice inflatable, super soft on top to do yoga on. These work out great for my classes out here. But first let's start in tabletop pose and a little board anatomy on where we place our hands, our feet, and our knees. You'll have the handle of the board, which is the center point, and then think of dividing the board from the nose to the fin side of the board, right in the middle, and then from rail to rail, side to side, you'd create quadrants of 1, 2, 3, and 4, where you create the balance of the board from right to left, and it's just where you place your hands and your feet in these postures. So you might start with a few cat-cows just to get warmed up, even a downward facing dog if you want to go there. But we'll start modified side plank from tabletop pose, where we pivot open to the side of the board, and don't be afraid to move your hands and your feet here a little bit just to get the adjustment right so you have the balance. But your back leg pivots and the top of the foot suctions right to the rail of the board. Your right palm comes forward slightly, where you create a little bit of angle and the inner arm rotates out. As you start to open up, the hips stack, your back leg, the pinky side is in, and your arm over your ear. Now feel free to play here, stay as long as you'd like. Maybe you start to introduce the movement of the leg lifting, and play with the range of how much you lift the leg off of the board. Maybe it's just a few inches to start. Don't be too hard on yourself, but you'd work yourself into the third variation of taking the bind, opening up the heart. It's like creating a bow shape, little mini back bend. Keep the tailbone lengthening back toward your heels. You open up, lean back, maybe gaze at the blue sky, take in the sun. As you slowly start to release out, back through, tabletop, maybe shake it out. Downward dog always feels pretty good here. Even a half vinyasa just to keep the energy flowing through. And now let's go into our full expression, where we set up into a modified side plank. Just set your foundation here first. And your back legs, the feet are actually going to stagger. So you can bring your right one forward slightly, your left one back. Bottom arm, same. Arm is externally rotating out as you open up, lean back. Keep the chin in, tucked in slightly, breathe. And then hang out here as much as you like. And then give yourself the freedom to play around. Again, you can take longer time and do modified side plank, working up that foundation of your balance, coordination before you move into the full expression. You have seen that whole version on the water with your board. Let's take it inside as if we were in the off season, working our balance and using modified side plank. Same efforts as you set up, and counterbalancing the weight from right to left, equalizing the board. So this board is a fit mat with balance discs underneath them. Still catching a bind, getting a little quad stretch, having a little fun there, just playing with the movement, maybe coming up to a gate pose, just adding in a little variation. Then back down through cat and cow, tabletop pose, just shaking it out in between sides, allowing yourself to be able to move freely on the board. So the arm comes forward a little bit and then it twists out and away from you, and that gives you a little bit of a tripod there to be able to hold the pose. A little kickstand, maybe lift the back leg, and then again reaching back for the quad stretch, opening up the heart, peeling the left shoulder back and away, breathing, having fun, taking your time. So again, this is your opportunity to work on a board. And of course, if you don't necessarily have the option of doing this, you can always use your yoga mat, which I'll show
in a few minutes, but here taking the full expression and maybe even using one leg as your kickstand, right? And it helps get you into a little bit of a back bend. So plenty of room here to play, adding in those variations. Breathe. Working your way up into that full expression of Vasisthasana side plank. And taking it onto your mat, if you don't have a board set up, there's a few variations here to be able to gain the balance. Same setting up for the modified side plank. And just thinking of your board beside you, like dividing the mat in half, balancing from right to left. Maybe adding in a little modification to get into the full expression using the leg either in the front or behind you. I think we did on the board. Yeah. See how it pops the chest open and it adds in that little version of a back bend. So lots of strengthening here in the arms, the legs, the wrists, ankles. Here we'll go forearm plank. This gets you off the ground a little bit lower than your full expression back or full expression side plank, but you can use your hips to pop up and then you get a little bit more work into the core. So if you lower down, come through Sphinx pose, open up the heart, give yourself a breather before you change sides, but stack the feet, the ankles first, and then pop up. Give yourself a little bit of a breather here. We'll inhale and exhale. Now as you take it back to the board, I just want to show the foot placement as you hook the top of your foot around the rail of the board. It creates this suction for you to be able to stay there and even lift the back leg. Just imagine everything growing toward your midline, growing stronger, lifting, lengthening. I hope you enjoy this little version of modified side plank and how you get there on your board, and ways to practice off of the water, whether your board is on a wobble or your mat. Thanks for watching.